You want long, so let's go all in. The world's longest penis belongs to, is a phrase custom built to yank your attention and wire your brain for comparison. You hear it and a reflex fires, measure, rank, judge. But that reflex is not truth, it's conditioning. Your brain is a prediction machine scanning for threats, and comparison looks like safety. If you can rank yourself high enough, maybe you'll feel secure. The problem is you never arrive. No matter what number you land on, there is always someone taller, shorter, louder, quieter, richer, poorer, bigger, smaller. You chase the horizon until you're exhausted, and you still haven't built the life and relationships you actually want. That's why this conversation matters. Not because bodies don't matter, but because obsession with extremes steals your focus from what you can control: your presence, your integrity, your communication, your ability to create safety and joy with another human being. Let's get honest about how this starts. Early on, most of us learn to outsource our self-worth. Somebody jokes in a locker room, somebody brags online, an algorithm pumps out outliers and labels them normal, and you quietly start negotiating against yourself. You put up armor, sarcasm, avoidance, performance, anything to keep your secret fear from being seen. Meanwhile, no one teaches the fundamentals that actually drive attraction and satisfaction: listening, curiosity, patience, clarity, kindness under pressure. Those are not soft skills, they are power skills. You can learn them, you can practice them, and they will carry you 1,000 times farther than any statistic. Here's the paradox: anxiety makes you performative, and performative energy kills connection. When you're in your head, you're not in the moment. When you're not in the moment, you miss the cues that make intimacy great. Breath is your doorway back. 5 slow inhales through the nose, 5 longer exhales through the mouth. Count them. Feel the ground under your feet. Let your shoulders drop. Physiologically, those long exhales signal safety to your nervous system. Psychologically, they give you the space to choose a different story. You go from, "Am I enough?" to, "How can I make this moment safe, fun, and connected?" That shift is everything. Language matters. Comparison language asks, "Do I measure up?" Competence language asks, "Am I showing up?" One lives at the mercy of strangers, the other lives in your calendar. Show up by keeping small promises to yourself. Move your body in a way that builds strength and ease. Sleep like it's a high-performance tool. Drink water before you drink opinions. Journal for 5 minutes in the morning and ask 3 questions. What would make today meaningful? How will I show respect to myself? What conversation am I avoiding that would move my life forward? Then answer with actions, not wishes. Confidence is not a lightning strike, it's a stack of kept promises. Let's talk about conversation, because intimacy is a conversation before it's an event. Great partners ask clear, generous questions. What helps you relax? What are your hard no's and enthusiastic yeses? What pace feels good? Are you in the mood for playful or tender tonight? Clear is kind, murky is painful. Adults use their words, and using your words is not needy, it's leadership. You're signaling that consent is not a checkbox but an ongoing dialogue where both people matter. That safety is the spark that lets everything else catch fire. And since we're being real, let's address shame. Shame tells you that you are the only one who worries about this. That's a lie. The moment you say, "Hey, I get in my head about size sometimes. Can we slow down and focus on what feels good for you?" You will discover something important. Vulnerability is attractive, not performative oversharing, but grounded honesty paired with curiosity. Suddenly, this isn't a performance with a right answer, it's a team sport with discovery, feedback, and laughter. Laughter matters. Laughter loosens the room, moves you from evaluation to exploration, and makes mistakes feel like detours rather than disasters. Protect your inputs like your peace depends on it, because it does. If your feed is a parade of extremes, your brain will normalize those extremes and pathologize your real life. Mute, unfollow, curate, replace comparison with education. Learn about attachment styles, repair after conflict, nervous system regulation, how to give and receive feedback without defensiveness. Build a bookshelf, not a shrine to insecurity. When you change the water you swim in, you change the story you live in. There's also a broader cultural message to challenge, that desirability is a single metric. It isn't. Desirability is multidimensional. It's the way you enter a room, present, grounded, eyes kind, shoulders open. It's how you handle friction, do you escalate or de-escalate? It's how you hold boundaries, clear, calm, consistent. It's your generosity, do you make experiences that fit the other person or insist they fit your script? It's reliability, do you do what you say you will do, without drama? Stack those qualities and watch how quickly superficial ranking games lose their grip on you. Now, practice. For 7 days, run this playbook. Start your morning with breath, intention, and one kept promise. Midday, find a single moment to practice presence, slow your speech by 5%, feel your feet, meet someone's eyes and really listen. Evening, do a 3-minute debrief. What did I do well? Where did I get hooked by comparison? What's one tiny improvement for tomorrow? Tiny improvements compound. 1 degree of change today becomes a different coastline in a month. In relationships, invent rituals of connection that don't depend on performance metrics. 10-second hugs that last long enough for bodies to sync. Walk and talks with phones away. Playlists built together. Check-ins that start with, what do you need more of? What do you need less of? Make curiosity your habit, not your emergency. The couples who thrive aren't the ones who never stumble, they're the ones who repair quickly and learn out loud. And when old thoughts pop up, and they will, meet them with truth and movement. Thought, I won't be enough. Response, I'm showing up with respect, curiosity, and skill. Then move. Shake out your hands, roll your shoulders, breathe, and re-enter the moment. Your body learns through action. Train it to associate intimacy with calm focus and generosity, not with audits and anxiety. The sentence we started with is a trick mirror. It reflects something loud, shiny, and irrelevant to your actual fulfillment. The better sentence is this: the world's longest obsession with comparison belongs to anyone who stops living their life to chase it. Refuse the chase. Refuse the story that your worth sits in a number. Put your energy where it changes things, in your habits, in your communication, in the way you treat people, in the way you treat yourself when no one is watching. If you want a legacy, build one that lasts longer than a statistic. Become the person whose presence lowers the temperature in tense rooms. Become the person who asks great questions and listens for real answers. Become the person who keeps promises and apologizes cleanly. Become the person who knows how to create safety and fun on purpose. That's unforgettable. That's attractive. That's available to you starting now. You do not need to win the genetic lottery to feel worthy, loved, and deeply connected. You need to practice a handful of simple, unglamorous skills day after day. Breathe, focus, show up, ask, listen, adjust, repeat. When your attention drifts toward the comparison trap, bring it back with compassion and discipline. Your life expands in the direction of the questions you ask and the actions you repeat. Ask better questions. Repeat better actions. Build a story where the main character is you, not a stranger on a scoreboard. That's the work. That's the win. That's how you turn down the noise and turn up the volume on a life and love that actually fit you. Comparison steals presence. Focus on showing up, not measuring up. Comparison is a habit that pulls your attention out of the moment and into an imaginary contest you can't win, because the rules keep changing and the judges live in your head. The instant you start ranking yourself against a highlight reel, you abandon the conversation in front of you and the task in your hands. Your body is in the room, but your mind is elsewhere, projecting outcomes, decoding facial expressions, and scanning for proof that you belong. That distance drains energy, turns curiosity into self-critique, and makes you miss the simple cues that actually create connection. eye contact, steady breath, a real question, a patient pause. Measuring up feels productive because it looks like analysis, but it's avoidance in disguise. You avoid the discomfort of learning by hunting for a ranking. You avoid the vulnerability of asking a question by chasing a number. You avoid the discipline of practice by waiting to feel equal to the loudest voice in the room. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Skills are built by repetitions, trust is built by consistency, and confidence is built by kept promises, none of which require you to be the best, only present enough to do the next useful thing. Showing up is a behavior, not a feeling. It looks like listening all the way to the end of a sentence before planning your reply. It looks like asking one clarifying question when you feel defensive. It looks like setting a small, specific target for the next hour and hitting it. When you define showing up as actions you control, you stop waiting to feel ready and start stacking evidence that you are reliable. Evidence updates belief, belief shapes behavior, behavior produces results, and that cycle turns regardless of where you rank on any scoreboard. Your nervous system needs simple exits from comparison loops, so give it tools. Name it in your head, I'm comparing. Take 5 slow breaths, longer on the exhale, and feel your feet on the floor. Scan the room for 3 details you hadn't noticed. Ask the question that breaks the spell, what does this moment need from me? Not what would impress them, not what looks perfect, but what is the useful next move here? You're not auditioning for invisible judges, you're participating in your own life, and that shift returns your attention to where your influence actually lives. Protect your inputs because comparison thrives on a specific diet, outliers without context. Curate your feeds. Mute accounts that make you tense and smaller. Subscribe to sources that teach skills rather than flaunt outcomes. Track your progress in a private log so your brain can see dots connecting over time. When the water you swim in reflects growth instead of spectacle, your focus stops sprinting toward imaginary scoreboards and starts returning to the work that matters today. Turn ordinary moments into presence practice. When you brush your teeth, notice 5 sensations. During one conversation a day, slow your pace by 5% and hold eye contact a heartbeat longer. Before opening an app, ask why you're opening it and what you expect to get. Tiny anchors build a baseline of calm you can return to when stakes rise. Presence isn't the absence of thought, it's the willingness to come back, again and again, to what matters now. Replace outcome metrics with integrity metrics. Outcomes are noisy and delayed, integrity is immediate. Did you keep the promise you made to yourself this morning? Did you speak truthfully when it was inconvenient? Did you make the room safer or colder? These are scoreboards you control, and they create a reputation that's felt before it's seen. People remember how you made them feel long after they forget the numbers you quoted. Build a vocabulary that favors effort, learning, and repair. Say I'm practicing instead of I'm bad at this. Say let's try again instead of we failed. Say what would make this 10% better instead of this still isn't good enough. Words are steering wheels. They point your attention toward process and keep you moving when perfection would have you freeze. Design friction for your triggers. If mirrors pull you into self-critique, soften the lighting and step back. If certain rooms make you shrink, rehearse the first sentence you'll say and the first question you'll ask so you enter with momentum. If metrics obsess you, batch reviews to once a week and spend the saved minutes practicing the skill itself. You cannot control where you rank in someone else's story, but you can control whether you are engaged in your own, so show up where your feet are and take the smallest meaningful action available.